Is this a C Class, E Class, or S Class? Honestly, it's pretty hard to tell. There's no denying that Mercedes has made all three sedans look practically identical. The good news is, it has gorgeous styling and an interior that rivals Rolls-Royce and Bentley for a price at just above $50,000. I'm gonna start with the worst part of the car so we can get it out of the way. A 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 isn't exactly what you think of when you imagine a luxury sedan. Neither is 241 horsepower or 273 pound-feet of torque. Now, I get it, government regulations are getting stricter, you have to get better fuel economy, but this gets a combined 24 miles per gallon, which to be honest, isn't all that great. Acceleration, not that quick. I'm really excited for the E550 and E63 to come out because engine-wise, this isn't cutting it. Engine aside, the new E300 is an absolutely brilliant vehicle. The interior is kind of mind-blowing how elegant and luxurious it is at this price point. It really does take some of the best features of the S Class, some of the also beautiful, innovative design language from the C Class and combines it into one. The fact that despite from the length, the interior of this car is every bit as good as a brand new Mercedes S Class is incredible. And it even has technology that the S Class doesn't. For instance, it's got a 9-speed automatic gearbox. Now, is 9 speeds really necessary? Frankly, no. Manufacturers are competing against one another. It's in a way a bit of a marketing ploy. Eventually, it's going to be no longer cost effective or efficient from an economical fuel economy standpoint to have more and more speeds. People are working on a 10-speed, so on and so forth. But the shifts are very, very smooth, and it does go along with the comfort, luxury vibe of the E-Class. Got nice isolated cabin, rides relatively smoothly, a little bit firmer than the S-Class, but definitely a comfortable experience. We've got some brand new things in the E-Class that haven't been offered before. Dynamic mode selector, you can go from Eco to Comfort to Sport, Sport Plus, and even go to Individual and customize the setting. Other features have advanced as well. One of the coolest parts of the S-Class is the ambient lighting. But there's only a handful of colors you can choose from. Now on the new E-Class, you've got no less than 64 color options for the interior lighting. Driver assistance features have improved as well. We've got driving pilot, speed pilot. Notice they don't refer to it as autopilot for legal reasons with, unfortunately, what happened with Tesla recently. And you've also got parking pilot. This car can now not only parallel park itself, but it can also perpendicular park. And the cool thing is, for the perpendicular parking, you can actually choose which way you want the car to enter the spot, whether it's backing in or pulling in forward. Click the button down here in the center console to activate parking pilot, and you can select different modes from there. The backup camera graphics are improved once again. The display is beautiful. The guidelines are very easy to read. See where you're positioning the cars. This vehicle has pretty much the best backup camera on the market. You've got some new controls on the steering wheel. You've got touch controls at the 9 and 3 position in order to control the multimedia screen, so you can keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel to control functions without having to reach your hand down. You've of course got the classic Mercedes touchpad down here and the rotating knob. Now, most likely I would be using the rotational knob feature to select different modes just because you get actual feedback. It gives you a nice little click when you're selecting stuff, and when you push it forward and backward, it seems like a more reliable method of maneuvering around. Beautiful analog clock here. Surround wraparound wood trim, very similar to the Mercedes S Class. Burmeister sound system. Heated seats, you can control the right seat, the passenger seat, from the driver's seat, which is very cool. On the Performance Package 3 that's available on the E300, not equipped on the car we're testing today, you actually can have one large display. Now it's broken up into 2 different displays, but it's one enormous sheet of Gorilla Glass, which looks stunning. The car feels very spacious. The seats are comfortable. I love the design language on them. Looks more upscale than its price suggests. All around, this feels like you're making a good purchase, like you're getting real value for the money. You're not buying a nice sedan that has the Mercedes 3-pointed star on it and paying a $20,000 premium because of that. you are actually buying the best car in its segment. Now, if you are a performance freak, I'd probably hold off to see whether they come out with a V8 model or a twin-turbo V6, and then, of course, the E63 AMG when that's released. But if you're just concerned with having a very pleasant to drive, and when you put it in dynamic mode, in Sport Plus, it actually handles decently well. Not as good as BMW or Cadillac, but this car is also more comfortable in a non-sporting manner. If you don't care as much about straight line speed or performance, this E300 is a fantastic car. Now, it doesn't sound the best when you floor it. Sounds a little bit like a minivan, to be honest. It's relatively hard to make a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder have any sort of good noises whatsoever. The steering wheel is a perfect shape, nice leather wrapped, feels good in your hands. Gives you a nice confident grip on the road. Very good visibility front and rear. The mirror is a slimmer design, which looks very lovely. I do kind of wish they would have moved forward in the futuristic sense like the Cadillac CT6 with a video camera for the rear view mirror, but I'm sure that'll be coming. The beautiful new LED headlights in the front look awesome, the daytime running lights. The car looks very, very sleek. The rear end is rounded, almost in a Rolls-Royce Ghost kind of vibe to it. It does look stunningly similar to the C Class and the S Class. That's good for C and E Class owners. It's not so good for the S Class, but we'll see when they refresh that what that design language has to offer. But in the Sport package, you've got a more aggressive front grille. You've also got some really pretty wheel options as well. Now, if you get the luxury trim, you actually get the hood-mounted 3-pointed star, which, other than the S Class, Mercedes has kind of eliminated for all the models. Whether that is whether the reason behind that is people stealing the emblems off or just a pure cost perspective, I'm not really sure. But there's something about having that hood ornament that's nice and special. The E-Class is loaded with technology. It seems in recent times that BMW is kind of ahead of the pack in bringing new features to their luxury cars, whereas Mercedes is more focused on fit and finish, and elegant design. Obviously, there's pluses and minuses to both, but we've got some cool stuff in the new E-Class. So, wireless charging that works for Android phones, but actually if you get an adapter, it can work for an iPhone as well. It's located in the center console. There's a great spot where you can stick your phone. Some kind of an oversight for a lot of auto manufacturers is a good place to have your cell phone. Everybody nowadays is using a smartphone. Leaving it in your pocket is okay, but it's definitely nice to have a secure location for your phone where you can charge it and access it if you need to. Mercedes has introduced this pre-safe sound feature. Now listen to this. When you're about to get into an accident, or you're getting into an accident, the car is able to sense that. Of course, it's basically one giant compilation of computers. When an accident happens, the vehicle emits what's called pink noise, not white noise or brown noise, pink noise, which actually reduces the audible impact into your ears by up to 40%. If you ever heard a car accident before or witnessed a crash test, I've witnessed several crash tests, it's extremely loud. A 40-mile-an-hour crash into a wall sounds like an explosion, and that can be obviously the normal bodily harm that can be incurred from that, but also very damaging to the occupant of the vehicle's ears. So the fact that they've thought about that, introduced this pink noise to reduce the damage to people's ears, really cool feature. The E300 just feels incredibly high quality, from the design language to the materials used to just pressing any of the buttons. It doesn't feel like they cut any corners. The door handles aren't flimsy. It doesn't feel, it doesn't make little weird clicks when you press the button. Everything is satisfying and well done. In summary, here are some of the things I love and hate about the E300. So first off, the interior is the best for the money, hands down. Incredibly elegant. Second up, the technology. From the pre-safe sound to the 64 ambient light colors and the customizability of the driving modes, this car has a lot to offer. Last up, the value. For a base price of just above $50,000, this one, as tested, is 60 grand. this is a hell of a car. Things I don't like about it. This car is brand new, and already there's some rattle going on in the speaker on the dash. It's not really acceptable for a car of this caliber. I'm sure it's an easy fix that the dealer could do, but shouldn't be happening. The powertrain. 2-liter inline turbo 4-cylinder. It doesn't feel upscale enough to go in a vehicle like this. If you had a nice sounding twin turbo V6, it would make the car feel more expensive than having an economy motor essentially in a higher end vehicle. Lastly, because there's not too much consumer knowledge right now about what Mercedes is doing with the E-Class in terms of coming out with an E400 hybrid, E550, E63, so on and so forth, it's a little nerve-wracking purchasing this car if you are a performance enthusiast, knowing that there could be something with a much bigger engine, or at least one step above, so you don't have that little negative with the inline 4. But as I said before, if you don't care about that, if you want to get better fuel economy and you're more about having a luxury car and the engine is second, third, 10th down the list, this is an absolutely brilliant vehicle. But overall, I'm incredibly stunned with the new E-Class. Really is probably the best car for the money, best car in its class for the money, no doubt about that. Special thanks to Christopher from Mercedes of Novi for making this review possible. This E300 is available there now, along with a range of others.